Hello and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to see how you can use your survival kit with Astran and CyberDuck. For the record, Astran is a data security as a service company which uses advanced cryptography to make your data safe and resilient. By the way, if you've not checked out my video about how to set up CyberDuck with Astran S5, please check it out. It should appear in the top right corner of your screen right now. So the first thing we're going to do is to create a new bucket. This new bucket will be located in the EU region and will be named Survival Kit. Let's click the Create button, and then the bucket will be created and we can double click it to access it. The next step is to use a synchronize CyberDuck feature in order to synchronize the complete Survival Kit content. We use the upload option here, as this is the first time we're synchronizing the survival kit, but in the future we can use other options like mirror, which helps me create a differential upload between what's already there. Now, CyberDuck is preparing the upload. So basically it's measuring the file size, it will be creating the directories on S5, and then the upload is starting. I have sped this up a little bit since I am currently on a cell phone connection, but you can imagine that a survival kit waiting a few hundred megabytes or maybe a few gigabytes, the upload will be pretty fast. When this is done, I'm able to verify that my survival kit has been uploaded and that all the content is there by clicking on the refresh button. If ever you choose Astran to store your survival kit and you're at this stage, congratulations, you've made your company more resilient. Now let's check that the survival kit contains everything we need. So the first thing we're gonna check is emergency contacts. Emergency contacts are basically the contacts for the emergency response team. As you can see, we stored it as a VCF file and 10 contacts are there, and I can add them to my contact in case I need it, or I can use the share button from macOS, to create an email or a message to all this team. Very important if for some reason, for instance, you're locked out. The next thing is we want to make sure that we have all the procedures that are stored. The worst thing that could happen is that procedures are not available in case of an emergency. So for instance, here we have the initial response plan. We can also check the business continuity plan. And the point is that all your professionals in your company would be able, to rewrite or re-execute these procedures without having them, but they would waste a lot of time. So having these documents available at any time, even in case of a lockout, for instance, is very, very valuable. The next thing we want to check is if critical legal documents are available. For instance, here we have documents, contract documents with providers in order to check shared responsibilities. Then we have also critical secrets. For instance, here we have API keys, SSH keys. All of this is fake. Of course, it was created for the purpose of this demo, but it's a good example of what you could store as critical keys in your survival kit. This would enable you to regain access to online services or to servers or computers for which you've lost access to. The main point of all of the secret here is to regain access to some part or maybe all your infrastructure in case you've been locked out. And last but not least, let's get back to the root folder of the survival kit. We can see that we have a backup here. So Astran is not a backup solution, but here we could store critical backup information like AD backup, and this would enable you to restore your Active Directory in case of an emergency. The good thing about storing your survival kit into a S3 compatible API is that you can also access it using the AWS CLI. So here I'm just listing my bucket. I can see that my AD backup is available, and I can download it on my local computer using AWS CLI. You could also imagine automatically storing your backup like every week on Astran S5, and this would enable you to have a survival kit that's always up to date. Awesome. So in this video, we saw how to upload your survival kit to Astran S5, and then to access it, verify it, and download parts of it when required, either through CyberDuck or automatically through the AWS CLI. Storing your survival kit into a resilient and safe platform like Astran makes you one step closer to being able to recover quickly in case of an emergency. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.